You referenced earlier you don't have any kids.
I do not.
Hey guys, I wanted to talk about this clip from the Diary of a CEO podcast with an appearance from Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen had kind of fallen off my radar. The last thing I remember from him was his encounter with Count Dankula.
I actually think he's a smug, elitist, rich dickhead. That's all he is. And you'll be able to see why I came to that conclusion during this chat. Hi, not sure who you are. That's a running theme with Seth. If you watch the way he acts on Twitter, he sort of has this whole, I'm a great big Hollywood A-lister. Millions of people have seen my movies. I don't know who you are, though.
It's a very funny watch, and in it, Seth Rogen just comes across as a petulant left-winger. The Seth Rogen you can find on Twitter today is so irritating. I was trying to remember if he was ever funny. I do have fond memories of his movies from my teenage years, but looking back, a lot of them have aged very poorly, and even the ones that haven't, like Superbad, Seth's role as the policeman isn't that funny or well written. The only performance I don't look back on with cringe is 50-50, where he plays the friend of Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Anyway, that was a complete tangent. It's just to set the scene of how I feel about Seth.
You referenced earlier you don't have any kids.
I do not. That has helped me succeed as well. Definitely.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There's a whole huge thing I'm not doing.
Before I go any further, I just want to say that I respect everyone's decision of whether they want to have kids or not.
People, obviously, someone will be listening, but it would make you happier. Someone might say that. I'm trying to rebuttal.
I don't think it would. I've been around, obviously, a lot of children. I'm not ignorant to what it's like to. I've seen everyone I know has kids. I see. I'm 40 again. It's not.
This shows how childish Rogan is. You are ignorant of what it's like to have kids. You don't know what it's like until you've experienced it yourself. To put it into terms that maybe Seth Rogen can understand, it's like someone who's never tried weed saying that they know what the experience is like because they've been around people who've smoked weed. As a man, I will never know what it's like to be pregnant, and to claim that I do know because I've been around a pregnant woman is ridiculous. Or never mind, it's 2023. Maybe men can get pregnant.
I know, I've some of my friends have had kids for decades,
The big difference to anyone who's not a complete buffoon is that they're not your kids. It's honestly laughable that he thinks this way and thinks he's not ignorant to what it's like to have kids.
And me and my wife were just, neither of us were like that, and honestly, the older we get, the more happy and reaffirmed we are with our choice to not have kids.
I just flat out don't believe you. Listen to Dankula tell the story of Seth Rogen on Twitter.
It was just, Seth got mad over such a non-issue, just such a non-thing, right? So it turns out I've been using dog shampoo on my hair for the last few months. I only discovered it when I ran out and needed to get more. This is partly my own fault, but it doesn't help that Arm & Hammer has the word pets in 4-point typeface. I'm guessing this is common. Basically, that's be basic thing. Guy made a mistake. I've been washing my hair with dog shampoo. Ha ha ha. Okay, benign. There's nothing offensive or anything about that at all. Seth Rogen comes in. Fucking hell. There we go. Seth Rogen, you're stupid. Trolled by Seth Rogen, achievement unlocked. I'm not trolling you. That was objectively stupid. I honestly have no clue who you are beyond this stupid tweet. There was no need for that. There was literally no need for that at all. What was that for?
Does that strike you as the behavior of a happy, fulfilled person? Just attacking random people on Twitter for no reason. You have huge sums of wealth. You can do anything you want. And here you are picking fights on Twitter for no reason. But yeah, Seth, We believe you. You're well-rounded and clearly a very happy person.
It's like it was something we kind of talked about more, and we were like, are we made the right choice? Are we sure? Now, if more than anything, the conversation is like, honestly, thank God we don't have children. We get to do whatever we want.
And evidently, whatever you want seems to consist of attacking random people on Twitter for no reason. It sounds like you've nothing better to do.
We are in the prime of our lives. We are smarter than we've ever been. We understand ourselves more than we ever have. We have the capacity to achieve a level of work and a level of communication and care for one another and a lifestyle we can live with one another that we've never been able to live before. And we can just do that. And we don't have to raise a child, which the world does not need right now.
That the world doesn't need right now. This is the cynical myth that the left has been pushing. Depopulation is one of the biggest threats to humanity. Food production is expected to grow by 30% by 2050. Technology is making everything more efficient. What we need is more innovators. And on paper, someone like Seth Rogen, with vast resources and wealth, is the perfect person to raise and educate a kid who could grow up to do something amazing, like solving the issues regarding climate change. Okay, he'd have Seth Rogen's genes, which is a bit of a setback, but he is in a good position to father a child.
It's we're very happy with our choice to not have kids. And I work with a lot of people with kids, and I see definitively that I have more time to both do the things I need to do and the things I enjoy doing.
Like being pugnacious with people on Twitter and attacking them for no reason. Pathetic. But the point does resonate. As someone with 2 kids, I miss my free time. Partying, playing video games, all that stuff is great, but it's quite shallow. It's instant pleasure with no long-term gratification. Has the rise of short-term gratification led to a happier society with porn, video games, and social media? Clearly not, and the statistics bear that out. Having a child is infinitely more fulfilling than any of those things. Being in a relationship is a lot harder than watching porn. Ordering a fast food hamburger is easier than cooking and eating healthy. Watching TV is easier than exercise. But aside from that quick gratification that wears off rapidly, will any of these things make you happy in the long term?
And not to say their kids don't bring them joy, but I say this truthfully. Me and my wife seem to get a lot more active enjoyment out of not having kids than anyone I know seems to get out of having kids.
Again, a puerile, immature outlook. To restate it, you're experiencing it from the outside, so you have no idea. You are completely ignorant of what it's like to have children and the happiness that comes with that. To explain it for an idiot like Seth to understand, it's like telling a war veteran that he should stop complaining, that you know what it's like to be in a war, and you could handle it easily because you've played Call of Duty or watched a war documentary. Your knowledge is completely superficial, and you have to experience it to know what it's like. And to fit this into a larger narrative, this isn't just Seth. This is the perspective of a lot of people on the left. While they're espousing all this nonsense, conservatives are overwhelmingly more happy than liberals. Sam Cedar divorced, Emma Vigeland, no kids, Anna Kasparian, no kids, Vosh. Would you really want to change lives with these miserable weirdos? Obviously, everyone's free to make their own choices, and not everybody should have kids, nor is it an easy decision. But do not take life advice from these miserable left-wing losers. I'm fascinated and often appalled by this child-free movement. I was digging through a lot of child-free videos, and I'm really in disbelief by some of it. If you'd like more content about it, please let me know.